Genius Kids. Cultivating love for learning.
Lesson 9. Air surrounding the Earth. We already know that the process of weathering takes place only because of the presence of air in our surroundings. It means that if there was no air on Earth, there would be no weathering and no life on Earth. Atmosphere. The air in the atmosphere is a mixture of many gases in varying proportions. The Earth is surrounded by an envelope consisting of layers of gases, collectively called the atmosphere. It protects the Earth by absorbing harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun and bombardment of space debris. Air has weight and exerts pressure. The moisture in the atmosphere makes air humid near the Earth's surface and is responsible for causing perspiration, condensation, and precipitation. Origin. The Earth was like a whirling mass of gases and rock particles in space at the time of birth. It gradually cooled down and the gases separated from heavier particles. The gases then formed a blanket around the heavier particles which settled in the center, forming the lithosphere. The gases formed the atmosphere. Characteristics. 1. The atmosphere surrounds the Earth like a blanket and is most dynamic in nature, mobile, elastic, expandable, and compressible. 2. It is held to the Earth by gravitational force and rotates with it. 3. The atmosphere is densest near the surface of the Earth and gets more and more rarefied with the increase in height above sea level because it has a layered structure. The layers exert pressure one upon another. Atmosphere is also compressible. 4. The more the density of air, the more the number of molecules present in it. 5. The heavier gases are found in the lower layers of the atmosphere. Composition. The atmosphere, as described above, is a blanket of air around the Earth. Air is a mixture of tiny molecules of gases. The composition of these gases in dry air is shown in the pie chart. The two main gases in the atmosphere are nitrogen, about 78%, and oxygen, about 21%. The other gases, about 1%, present in the atmosphere are argon, carbon dioxide, ozone, hydrogen, helium, etc. At lower levels, water vapor and dust particles are also found up to a height of about 12 kilometers. Do you know? About 99% of the total mass of the atmosphere lies within a height of 32 kilometers from the Earth's surface. Importance. Atmosphere is the most dynamic of all the other three realms of the Earth. Some of its advantages are: 1. It is an integral part of the Earth and contains life-giving gases like oxygen. Plants, human beings, and animals need oxygen to breathe. 2. Water vapor in the atmosphere absorbs the incoming solar radiation and does not allow the Earth to become too hot. 3. It also causes precipitation, rainfall, snowfall, etc. on the Earth. The blanket of air, especially the ozone layer, protects life on the Earth from the harmful ultraviolet radiations of the sun. 4. The atmosphere always remains in contact with the ground or water surface. 5. It keeps the Earth warm by not allowing all the heat given out by the Earth to escape into space, especially at night. 6. Differential heating of the atmosphere makes the air move horizontally near the surface of the Earth. This moving air is called wind. Greenhouse effect. The atmosphere absorbs a great part of terrestrial radiation emitted by the Earth. Since it absorbs this heat from below, it reflects part of it back to the Earth at night when the temperature is very low. This helps to keep the Earth warm. This process even happens during daytime. This effect is similar to a glass house, known as a greenhouse, in which vegetables and flowers are grown in cold countries. The glass house allows sunlight to enter, but does not allow the internal heat to go out. Pollutants in the atmosphere create heat sinks and raise the average mean temperature of the Earth. This is known as global warming. The melting of glacier in Antarctica and on high mountain is the result of global warming. Air pollution. Pollution is the presence in or introduction into the environment of a substance which has harmful or poisonous effects. Pollutants in air in combination with water vapor form a kind of dense fog called smog. The word smog is derived by combining smoke with fog. Smog can be seen in many metropolitan cities, especially during winter, and is a dangerous kind of air pollution. It causes many serious health hazards including severe lung problems. The hot summers in India make the effects of smog much more intense. Structure of the atmosphere. The atmosphere around the Earth has a layered structure. Based on temperature, there are 5 layers of atmosphere: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. 1. Troposphere. This is the lowermost layer of atmosphere. It extends from the Earth's surface up to about 15 kilometers. Within this range, the temperature of the air decreases at the rate of 1 degree Celsius for every 165 meters of ascent. Most of the clouds, water vapor, dust particles and atmospheric disturbances are found here. The upper boundary of the troposphere is called the tropopause. Most commercial aircrafts fly in this layer. 2. Stratosphere. This layer lies above troposphere and extends up to about 50 kilometers from the surface of the Earth. There are no clouds and practically no water vapor or dust particles in this layer. The temperature in this layer rises from about 60 degrees C at the base to about 0 degrees C at the top. Being free from turbulence or adverse weather conditions, this layer would have been ideal for large, high-flying jet aircraft. Ozone layer in stratosphere. Within the stratosphere, there exists another layer in which ozone is concentrated. This gas is densest at the altitudes of 21 to 26 kilometers. The ozone layer absorbs much of the harmful ultraviolet radiation of the sun. It therefore protects the Earth's surface and living things from these harmful solar rays. The upper boundary of the stratosphere is known as the stratopause, where the temperature begins to fall again. 3. Mesosphere. It extends from 50 kilometers to 80 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. Here the temperature again begins to drop and reaches 100 degrees C at the layer's upper boundary, which is known as the mesopause. This layer has the coldest temperatures in the atmosphere. Beyond this layer, the temperature increases rapidly with increasing height. 4. Thermosphere. It extends from the top of the mesopause beyond 80 kilometers up to about 640 kilometers. In this layer, temperature increases with height and reaches about 1700 degrees C. The atmospheric gases become very rare and very light. Most of the meteors burn and disintegrate in this layer. 5. Ionosphere. The rarity of atmospheric gases in the thermosphere allows this layer to absorb heat from the sun. This absorption produces electrically charged particles known as ions. Because of these ions, this sphere is also known as the ionosphere. 6. Exosphere. The uppermost layer of the atmosphere is called exosphere. It is very difficult to fix a boundary between thermosphere and exosphere. Beyond 640 kilometers height, an atmosphere becomes rarefied. It reaches its limit at 1050 kilometers. Here, the atmosphere gradually gives way to interplanetary space. Each of these layers of atmosphere performs specific functions. They protect life in many ways, especially by blocking a variety of hazards from space, including UV rays, meteor showers, gamma rays, etc. Weather and climate. Weather is a state of atmosphere at a given place or an area over a short period of time. Weather is never static, it is dynamic. Climate is the average weather condition prevailing at that place over a long period of time, about 35 years. The comparison between weather and climate is given ahead. Difference between weather and climate. Weather. 1. State of atmosphere over a smaller given area and over a short period of time. 2. Its elements are temperature, pressure, rainfall, humidity and precipitation. 3. A small change in any of the elements may change the weather. 4. Weather may be cold, hot, sunny or rainy during a particular season. Climate. 1. State of atmosphere over a large area, often a region, and over a long period of time. 2. Its elements are the same but include only aggregate conditions over a longer period of time or duration. 3. Small changes over short periods don't affect climate. 4. The world is divided into several climatic zones. Weather and climate have common elements which determine and influence them in the short run or the long run. These elements are atmospheric temperature, pressure, humidity, and precipitation. Temperature of the atmosphere. The sun is the main source of heat and light on the earth. The sun radiates heat in all directions. This heat is known as solar radiation. The solar radiation that strikes the upper layers of Earth's atmosphere is called insolation, meaning incoming solar radiation. The atmosphere does not transmit the whole of insolation to the Earth. Out of 100 units, only 51 units are received by the Earth's surface. The remaining 49 units are reflected back, with a small part being absorbed by the atmosphere, heating it. The Earth's surface is heated by insolation, but it reflects back this heat to the atmosphere. The amount of insolation decreases from the equator towards the poles. The heat radiated by the Earth back to the atmosphere is called terrestrial radiation. The atmosphere uses a major part of this terrestrial radiation for its own heating from below. The remaining part is lost to space. The atmosphere thus gets heated more by terrestrial radiation than by insolation, or from below than from above. The heating of the atmosphere by terrestrial radiation is 2.5 times more than insolation. The temperature of the atmosphere is not uniform everywhere on the Earth because the Earth rotates on its axis in an inclined position. Do you know? The solar radiations travel at a speed of about 3 lakhs kilometers per second and reaches the Earth's surface in about 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Factors affecting temperature. The important factors that affect the temperature of a place are: 1. Latitude. The inclination of the sun's rays depends upon the latitude of that place. Places at or around the equator receive more heat than places towards the poles. Duration of days and nights also varies as we move from the equator towards the poles. The longer the day, the hotter it is. 2. Altitude. Temperature decreases with altitude. It is cooler at the top of a mountain than at the bottom. The rate of decrease of air temperature with increasing height is called lapse rate. The average lapse rate is 1 degree Celsius for every 165 meters of height. Find out why Shimla is cooler than Ambala. 3. Distance from the sea. Land gets heated faster than water. Thus, the temperature of the air over land and water is not the same at a given time. Places near the sea have equitable climate, whereas places away from the sea have extreme climate. Difference between equitable and extreme climate. Equitable climate. 1. Places near the sea coasts have equitable climate. 2. Summers are not very hot and winters are not very cold. 3. There is very little temperature variation between the hottest part and the coolest part of the night. 4. This type of climate is also called as maritime climate. Extreme climate. 1. Places far away from the sea have extreme climate. 2. Summers are very hot and winter are very cold. 3. There are large differences between day-night and summer-winter temperatures. 4. This type of climate is also called continental climate. 4. Winds. Winds blowing from the sea, onshore, lower the summer temperature and raise the winter temperature. Similarly, winds blowing from warmer regions also raise the temperature, and winds blowing from colder regions lower the temperature. 5. Ocean currents. There are both warm and cold ocean currents circulating around the world. Ocean currents supply moisture and heat to winds, which then raise or lower the temperature in coastal areas. 6. Direction of mountains. To understand this, let us take the help of an example. The Himalayas, which lie in the east-west direction, prevent cold winds blowing from the north to enter India. This has the effect of giving a warmer climate to India than it would have otherwise had. 7. Slope of land. The slope of a mountain or any other relief feature facing the sun receives more insolation due to almost direct rays of the sun. South-facing slopes in the northern hemisphere receive direct sunshine and are therefore warmer than north-facing slopes. Temperature zones. Temperature is not the same everywhere. It generally decreases as one proceeds from the equator towards the poles. Different temperature zones are found on the Earth. These zones are shown in the given figure. I. Torrid zone. This zone lies between the Tropic of Cancer, 23°30 N, and the Tropic of Capricorn, 23°30 S. The sun remains vertical throughout the year in this zone, keeping temperatures at high levels. Hence, this is the hottest part of the Earth and receives the maximum insolation. This region has a tropical climate. 2. Temperate zone. It lies between 23°30 and 66°30 latitudes in both the hemispheres. It has a moderate climate. In the northern hemisphere, it lies between Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle. In the southern hemisphere, it lies between Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle. 3. Frigid zone. It lies between 66°30 N and North Pole in the northern hemisphere and between 66°30 S and South Pole in the southern hemisphere. These two polar regions are extremely cold throughout the year. Atmospheric pressure. Air, like other physical substances, has weight. The weight of dry air is about 1.2 ounces per cubic foot of air. Since air is found layer upon layer, and since these layers have weight, they exert enormous pressure on the surface of the Earth. The pressure exerted by the atmosphere on the surface of the Earth due to its weight is called atmospheric pressure. Characteristics and effects. Air pressure, like temperature, decreases with height above sea level. Air expands on heating, rises up and occupies larger space. Cold air, on the other hand, contracts, becomes heavier and sinks. These characteristics of air, under different conditions of temperature and pressure, greatly influence weather and climate. We do not feel air pressure because the pressure inside our body balances the atmospheric pressure surrounding us. Differences in air pressure are responsible for movement of air horizontally. Air always blows from high pressure to low pressure areas because air under pressure will always seek to escape to an area of low pressure. Winds. The movement of air along the horizontal surface of the Earth is called wind. Some winds blow regularly from high to low pressure areas, whereas some winds blow in particular zones. Some winds also change their direction because of presence of high mountains or atmospheric disturbances. Winds belts, temperature, pressure, relief, land and water bodies are the major factors that influence winds. Based on temperature and pressure, winds can be broadly divided into three belts. 1. Permanent winds. The three types of permanent winds, based on the direction in which they blow, are trade winds, westerlies and easterlies. They are known for their consistency. Their major influencing factor is pressure. The permanent winds are also called planetary winds because they blow over the whole planet. 2. Periodic winds. They blow in definite directions during particular seasons. That is why they are also called seasonal winds. Monsoon winds and land and sea breezes are such winds. During the day, air gets heated over the land, expands and rises. This attracts cooler air from the sea to take its place. This incoming, onshore breeze is known as sea breeze. During the night, exactly the opposite happens. Outgoing air starts moving from land to sea. This offshore breeze is known as land breeze. A comparison between the two types of winds is given below. Difference between land breeze and sea breeze. Land breeze. 1. Winds move from land to sea at night. 2. These are dry winds and are comparatively weaker. 3. They do not have much effect on the temperature on land. Sea breeze. 1. Winds move from sea to land during the day. 2. These are moisture-laden winds with some breezes becoming stormy in tropical areas. 3. They have a cooling effect on the coastal, making weather pleasant. On account of land and sea breezes, the coastal areas have equitable climate, whereas the land areas have extreme climate. Monsoons. The word monsoon has originated from the Arabic word mausim, which means season. Monsoons are also land and sea breezes, but on a large scale. Monsoons blow in distinct climatic regions like the Indian subcontinent, which is in the subtropical and tropical zones. Monsoons are a good example of wind movement. They greatly influence India's agriculture and people's lifestyles. 3. Local winds. They blow only during a particular period of the year in a small area, influenced mostly by local relief. Some well-known local winds are Chinook, blowing over Rockies and Alps, Halmatan over northwest Africa, and hot and dry Lu in the northern plains of India. Cyclones. The variable winds, which change their direction and are not regular, are generally associated with cyclones. A system of winds circling around a center of low atmospheric pressure within the surroundings high-pressure areas is known as a cyclone. The low pressure in the center is the outcome of some atmospheric disturbance. Cyclones are, therefore, also known as depressions. Cyclones formed in tropical areas are called tropical cyclones, whereas cyclones in temperate zones are called temperate cyclones. Since this atmospheric disturbance takes place over the oceans, the winds are moisture-laden. The greater the difference between the low pressure in the center and the high pressure surroundings, the faster are the winds. When cyclones move towards the coasts, they can attain a speed of 50 to 400 km per hour and have a diameter of 40 to 50 km. A cyclone causes heavy rainfall in the coastal areas, often resulting in floods. Coupled with fast-moving winds, they cause vast damage to life and property. Anticyclones. They are present in an area in which the high pressure is developed inside and the same is surrounded by low pressure outside. Consequently, winds begin to blow from inside to outside in the clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere and in the anti-clockwise direction in the southern hemisphere. These winds bring no rain. The sky is clear and the weather is fine. Case study: Cyclones in India. Cyclones are very common in India in the Bay of Bengal. Generally, they occur during the months of May to June and October to November. In the past, cyclones have caused great damage to life and property. On 19 November 1977, a cyclone devastated 65 villages in Andhra Pradesh. Most of the victims were migrant laborers. This storm, also called a cyclone, had a diameter of 5.7 kilometers and moved at a speed of 190 kilometers per hour. On 29 October 1999, another cyclone in the same region had a maximum speed of 300 kilometers per hour. Christened as Super Cyclone, it hit the coast of Odisha and turned out to be the most devastating cyclone in the recent history of India. Some precautionary measures against cyclones suggested by experts include planting belts of trees along the coastline to act as a buffer zone and building houses on stilts with proper roof architecture so that the winds cannot blow the roofs off. People should also move to safer areas soon after a cyclone warning is sounded. Humidity. The amount of water vapor present in air is called humidity. Temperature is the main factor that determines humidity. This is why humidity varies from place to place and time to time. Humidity is an important climatic factor determining the rainfall of the place. It also varies from season to season. The humidity of air is generally high during monsoon months. In the plains, it becomes uncomfortable and oppressive because of high proportion of moisture in the air. Precipitation. On account of unequal heating of land and water bodies, water vapor is added to the atmosphere. Evaporation is the process of transformation of liquid water into gaseous state. The process of conversion of vapor into raindrops is called condensation. Some tiny droplets float and drift in the air. The tiny droplets of water rise high into the atmosphere and form clouds. During this movement, droplets join together to form bigger droplets or ice crystals if the air is very cold. The bigger droplets or ice crystals fall to earth in the form of rainfall or snowfall. Falling droplets of water or ice crystals, that is, rain, hail or snow, are jointly called precipitation. The forms of precipitation are rainfall, snowfall, hail, frozen pellets of ice mixed with rain, sleet and drizzle. Type of rainfall. Rainfall is the most common form of precipitation on the surface of the earth. According to how the cooling of the warm, moist air takes place, rainfall occurs in the following ways. 1. Convectional rainfall. In hot regions like the equatorial region, the sun's rays strike the earth at an almost vertical angle. The rising currents of hot air are moisture-laden because of the presence of oceans in this latitudinal zone. When these moisture-laden winds reach higher levels of atmosphere, they cool, and condensation takes place. Condensed raindrops fall on the Earth's surface. This type of rainfall is called convectional rainfall. This type of rainfall is experienced practically every day in the equatorial region. 2. Relief rainfall. Relief or orographic rainfall occurs due to the presence of mountains which force the air to rise up. Upon rising, it sheds some of its moisture, due to the tendency of moisture-saturated air to shed excess moisture at the lower temperatures prevailing at greater heights. For examples, Mahabaleshwar, situated on the western slopes of the Western Ghats, gets more rainfall than Pune. 3. Cyclonic rainfall. We already know that in a cyclone, winds rush rapidly towards a calm center of low atmospheric pressure, also called a depression. If the rising air is moisture-laden, heavy rainfall, called cyclonic rainfall, is caused. This type of rainfall is quite common in the belt of westerlies, especially during the winter season. Geography studies the interrelationship between human beings and environment. The word environment is derived from the French word environ, which means surrounding. Our surrounding includes biotic factors like human beings, plants, animals, microbes, etc., and abiotic factors such as light, air, water, soil, etc. Thus, the sum total of our surroundings and their present condition is known as environment. It supports life on the earth. The air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat all come from our environment. Therefore, the knowledge of our surroundings is necessary to know what exists naturally and what has been changed by human beings. Components. Our surroundings can be divided into two main components, natural and man-made. The natural environment is further subdivided into physical and biological components. 1. Physical environment. It includes abiotic factors like mountains, plains, soils, climate, sunshine, rainfall, thunderstorms, earthquakes, etc. 2. Biological environment. It comprises all living organisms, including bacteria. All types of plants, animals, and human beings form the biological environment, also known as the biotic environment. Domains of physical environment. Our physical environment is broadly categorized into 4 domains, also called realms or spheres. These 4 components are usually represented by the term environment or zone where life is found. However, the zone of life, though very thin, extends to the other 3 spheres that form our physical environment. Hence, it is clear that the 4 spheres or domains which jointly support life are lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. 1. Lithosphere. Lithos means stone. Therefore, lithosphere is the zone of rocks. It is the part of the earth comprising rocks and terrain. It extends over continents as well as ocean basins. We will study in subsequent chapters that the interior of the earth extends to a depth of 6,371 kilometers. The average thickness of the lithosphere is only about 100 kilometers. It means that rocks, in their solid state, are found only up to this depth. The topmost part of the lithosphere is the Earth's crust on which we live. The Earth's crust is divided into 2 parts, continental crust and oceanic crust. A. Continental crust. It consists of granite rocks, rich in silica, Si, and aluminium, Al, or Cl. The Cl layer is also found under mountains and plateaus. This layer extends to an average depth of 35 kilometers, but this could be 60 to 70 kilometers thick underneath mountains. It is in this crust that soils are also formed. B. Oceanic crust. It comprises of rocks rich in silica, Si, and magnesium, Ma, called Sema. It is the crust on which oceans rest. This crustal part of the earth is only 4 to 7 kilometers thick beneath the oceans. No soils are formed here. The lithosphere provides the base on which all human activities take place. This includes soils, which play such a vital role in agriculture. It is also the source of minerals, including fossil fuels. 2. Atmosphere. The thin blanket of air around the earth is called the atmosphere. It has several layers and is very dynamic in nature. As we will study later, air is a mixture of gases. The 2 main gases that comprise the atmosphere are nitrogen and oxygen. Both are crucial to life on the earth. Living things breathe air and also depend on it for growth. Several other processes also operate in the atmosphere. For example, photosynthesis, which makes oxygen available in the atmosphere, weathering, which is responsible for soil information, and precipitation, which makes water available on land. The atmosphere has temperature and weight. It is held in place close to the Earth's surface by its own weight and also the force of gravity. It performs several functions such as A. It protects life on Earth from space debris and certain harmful rays, ultraviolet radiation, from the Sun. This includes protection from bombardment by other types of radiation, such as gamma rays. B. It moderates heat and cold on Earth. C. It is responsible for causing precipitation, rainfall, snowfall, etc. D. It enables us to hear sounds, because air also acts as a medium. E. The movement of air is called atmospheric circulation. A large percentage of all weather and climatic conditions on Earth can be traced to this. Many other functions are also performed by the atmosphere. Many changes take place in it constantly. Some of these changes are the result of human activity, most of which cause great harm to the atmosphere. It is our duty to protect this thin envelope of air around the Earth. 3. Hydrosphere. The hydrosphere comprises oceans, seas, lakes, rivers and other water bodies. It has great importance of its own. These water bodies are quite necessary for the existence of life on this Earth. Without water, life is quite impossible. Neither plants or animals or human beings can survive without water. It is also a source of rain and chief agents of cooling the atmosphere. Moreover, the rivers, lakes and seas provide us enough of food in the shape of fish, etc. All these water bodies also help in marine activities and promote trade. Oceans perform the following functions. A. Provide a link to land masses or continents. B. Much of the water that falls as rain, snow, etc. on land comes from the oceans. All water flowing in streams, rivers or that which is stored in lakes or underground is made available by precipitation. C. Oceans provide us food, minerals, mineral oil and gas, and are used for navigation. 4. Biosphere. Biosphere is the domain of all living organisms. It is a combination of zones where the atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere interact. These three spheres extend to several thousand kilometers high in the atmosphere, as well as into the very bowels of the Earth. However, the domain of life extends to only a few kilometers in a vertical direction in the atmosphere, as well as deep into the Earth. This zone of interaction, which contains all terrestrial life forms, is known as the biosphere. The biosphere has its own distinct identity. For all practical purposes, it is considered the fourth domain of the Earth. Its special feature is that it includes all the components of the environment to function as a balanced system. Biodiversity. The variety of plants, animals and other living things on Earth interact and depend on each other for food, shelter, oxygen and soil enrichment. This biological diversity is described as biodiversity. Keywords: ozone, an oxygen-like gas produced in the stratosphere that absorbs ultraviolet radiation. Cyclone, an area of low pressure surrounded by high pressure on all sides. Weather, the state of atmosphere at a given place and time. Climate, the aggregate of weather over a large area over a long period of time, say about 35 years. Solar radiation, the heat radiated in all directions by the sun. Insolation, the incoming solar radiation received at the Earth's surface. Terrestrial radiation, the heat radiated by the Earth back into the atmosphere. Evaporation, the process of transformation of liquid into gaseous form. Condensation, the process of conversion of a gaseous substance to liquid or solid form. Let's revise. The atmosphere is the blanket of air around the Earth. Air is a mixture of tiny molecules of gases. Based on temperature, there are 5 layers of atmosphere: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. Weather is a state of atmosphere at a given place or an area over a short period of time. Climate is the average weather condition prevailing at that place over a long period of time. The temperature of a place is affected by latitude, altitude, distance from the sea, winds, ocean currents, direction of mountains, and slope of land. 3 temperature zones of the Earth are torrid zone, temperate zone, and frigid zone. The movement of air along the surface of the Earth is called wind. Based on temperature and pressure, winds can be broadly divided into 3 belts: permanent winds, periodic winds, and local winds. The amount of water vapor present in air is called humidity. There are 3 types of rainfall: convectional rainfall, relief rainfall, and cyclonic rainfall.
Like, share, and subscribe.